I'm an old father of 2 kids. I didn't hear you very well. So let me ask you again. How are you? All right, guys. There we go. Thank you very much for this warm start to this. I am so excited that we get to have a few people in the room today. Last demo day, if you remember, I see that we have actually a guest from last cohort here as well. We had to do all of it virtually, and today we get to have a few selected crowd from the ecosystem, from large organizations, from VCs, from the coaches, from the old cohorts here. So thank you all for joining us. It makes the event a bit more special, like a lot more special and a lot more powerful. So very, very nice to see a bunch of you people here. Demo days are exciting. It used to be different. Anybody who is in part of the startup ecosystem maybe remember the good old days of accelerators, where demo days were all about VCs and pitching. And they have moved and transformed themselves to being a celebratory end of a cohort. So the celebration of a cohort, the presentation towards the community, the presentation, and even the self-reflective end to a certain phase for yourself to move on to the next stage of your entrepreneurial or whatever part it is that you're demoing on. So it's a great day. It's a great thing to experience demo day for everybody involved. I get to shortly describe or tell you a little bit about BIA. I'm going to keep this very short because most of you know us of course already. And after that, I will leave the stage and give you into the hands of wonderful Victoria and Florencia, who will host you and guide you throughout the day. My name is Darius Moini. I'm the founder of BIA. We started about 3 years ago. We have this wonderful description. I don't know what it means, but it sounds pretty awesome. We are BIA, an independent boutique agency. I don't know what that means, but it sounds amazing. So that's what we are, a boutique agency based at the heart of Berlin. Whatever that means. We've recently moved offices and are now very, very happily located at Hackischer Markt, right next to Father Carpenter. So anybody who wants to come and visit us, of course, holler at us and come have a coffee at Father Carpenter's. We love that. So what do? We have 2 hearts. We have 2 souls at BIA. On the one hand, we do agency work, academy work for large organizations and scale-ups. We design and produce and facilitate journeys. At the end, there can be change journeys. They can be innovation journeys, they can be training journeys, learning journeys. At the end, everything we do is very much cohort-based, so we design cohort-oriented programs for organizations. But that's not why we're here today, because we are here because of our other soul, which is the Innovation Hub, which most of you know us from. We do a bunch of different community-oriented and cohort-based activities, multi-company activities. Today we are here to celebrate the amazing teams of the Future City Incubator. We have 2 of these incubators running. These are part of the Berliner Startup Stipendium. Victoria will tell you a little bit more about what those are, but we at the end of the day facilitate 8 months long acceleration programs supporting high potential entrepreneurs to launch their great ideas into the market. We also have community circles, Digital Health Hub, and Smart City Hub. Smart City Hub, one of the probably most beloved open innovation programs in Berlin. It's the 4th year we're doing it, so a lot of community-oriented activities. So a lot of potential touch points. We usually bring together, very much like today, entrepreneurs, VCs, corporates, city stakeholders, all into a community of great like minds. We have also recently started a really cool circle that I personally care deeply about, which is the Future of Work Circle, where we experiment on anything leadership, organization, the hybrid transition. So we work a lot on any experimentative method and practice and principle that supports the transition towards more hybrid organizations. If you care about these things, come reach out to us. We have a lot of great stuff coming up very, very soon. I'd like to take this opportunity, of course, though, to say one big thanks. The thanks goes to our amazing team. We have Lou, we have Inga, we have Florencia, we have Victoria, we have Anastasia. Where's Anastasia? In the back. These programs that we facilitate, especially the incubator ones, they're super exciting, but they're also quite stressful. They're also always quite emotional. There's a lot of different facets that go into something that ends here today in a demo day. There are so many things that drive us crazy, from the insane administrative challenges that come with the public grant-based program up to a lot of operational, strategic design, operational execution. But mostly it comes with a lot with the emotional people management aspect, which at the end we always think before a cohort, we have it all together, we know exactly what we're doing, but we always at the end are surprised about the new challenges that we have, because you know how it is when people are involved, everything is always crazy. People. In a good way though, but it is very challenging, and I'm always surprised how much creativity and strategy and design and love and heart is poured into these programs. So a very, very big thank you to the entire team. Please join me in saying wonderful job. And with that, I can move and let the hosts, one of the two hosts of today, Florencia Fidel, take over and enjoy. This is for you.
Thank you, and hello everyone. Welcome here. As Darius mentioned, we're all gathered here to celebrate the end of our Future City Incubator, which is a pre-seed and equity-free program for urban innovators looking to challenge the status quo of urban life. As you can see, is part of the Berliner Startup Stipendium funded by the European Social Fund and the Berlin Senat. In the last 2 years, we have successfully run 2 cohorts, each with a duration of 8 months. We have supported 18 startups and 30 founders. Here today, we have a group of 15 and 8 startups will be presenting. The program is based on 3 pillars, which are entrepreneurship essentials, sales and growth, and investment readiness, through which we have worked with an amazing network of coaches that have been supporting our startups to be who they are today. We want to thank especially our partners, Berlin Partner and Smart City Network Berlin, as well as our location partner, St. Oberholz, where our startups have been working in the last 8 months, as well as our legal partner, BRL, and our amazing amazing mentors that I had just mentioned. You have here a selection of coaches that have trained our startups through a very diverse range of topics, such as sales, marketing, finance, storytelling, amongst others. You guys, mentors, thank you very much for the support. You've done an amazing job, and we're very, very happy to have worked with you in the last 8 months. The teams today, we're going to have a selection of 8 startups pitching their solutions and ideas, sharing their stories with you. We hope that you find them as inspiring as we did over the last 8 months. Before going into the pitches, though, I'd like to specifically mention the next cohort of our Future City Incubator. The program will start again in December, and we have the call for application that's open. So if you know any urban innovators, any high potential entrepreneurs, please help us spread the word. This is an amazing opportunity that provides funding, office space, as well as a wide range of coaching as mentoring. So please, if you're interested, you can reach out to us. We're more than happy to have a chat and discuss your ideas with you. Before we move into the pitches, I'd like to introduce our partner, Amira, from BPart. And thank you so much for partnering up with us for this event. We're super happy to have you here. And I'll let you introduce your location and what you do.
Yeah, hi everyone. Welcome to BPart here. Just to give you like a sneak preview or like a little briefing on where you are right now. I'll introduce the BPart. I'm managing the Urban Ideation Lab here. Yeah, I was asked to keep it really short, so don't be surprised if I'm gonna skip a few slides later on. We're here at BPart. on a very, this whole site used to be an abandoned area, freight stations, and the CoPro is developing a project here, and a new urban quarter of the future. And in the following years, there's also going to be another train station and another railway that's going to pass by here. And that is the master plan. What this is all about and why we're here. So BPART is one of the pioneer usages, next to Berlo as well, another pioneer usage for this whole site and for this whole city quarter that's going to be developed. And we're here in a very central place in Berlin. I'm going to skip that a bit. We're here in a temporary timber frame multifunctional building which offers co-working, cafe, co-working you've known through St. Oberholz, and a cafe that is open to the public, sports facilities that are open to the public, an art exhibition space and other facilities to engage the community, the neighborhood, into using and start using the space here. So these are our core topics: sports and health, the sense of responsibility, work of the future or future work, art and culture, and new mobility. And our software at BPART is the Urban Ideation Lab. We are providing scholarships to our, we call them fellows, and these fellows work together with us for the project developer to find new ideas for this future city quarter in order to, on the one hand, avoid mistakes, but also to find and create new ideas for the future cities of tomorrow. That's our current team, our fellows at the lab. They're all coming from different areas and having different expertises. Like I'm an architect actually, but no one else is, so they're all working in different fields. Concerning all these core topics. So we have Circular Berlin with us, we have the Symbiotic Lab, which are artists, we have a Participation Lab, which deal with digitalization of participation. We have people that work with new mobility. So we have like a really wide range of expertise, and together we're trying to, come all to great new ideas, as you did probably in your pitches and in your past times now. And we have different formats of how we do it. Usually we use design sprints, but we also have summer schools or just different formats. And then we present them to the project developer. And I'm gonna skip all these slides on more detailed information on all the different facilities here at BPART. But the co-working space that you've seen already, the BPART sports area, and that's it. Now I'm really eager to see your presentations, and good luck with your pitches.
So let's move on. You have to press the right button to move up. And now we come to the real rock stars of the evening, right? Our startups that present new perspectives on future city. But what is future city actually? We heard one very inspiring vision put into practice here at this location at BPART. But if you think about what future of cities means, Many of us might start with some pictures in their head that could look like that. Yeah, we've seen that in several movies, right, on images when it's always talking about visionary setups. But how far in the future want we move, right? If we move more to the close future, then it might look a little bit more like this, like connected things, connected technologies. Yeah, that's the smart city setup and the classical technological orientation that we know. But in the very end, to be very honest, it's about those people here, right? It's about humans. It's about us living in the city. And there are every day more people moving to the cities. By 2050, it's expected that 70% of the world population will live in urban ecosystems. So it's on us to design the cities in a way and all the services and challenges, solving challenges around that makes cities a pleasant place to live at, right? So, yeah, we want to give a lot of heart to our cities, and we want to have solutions at place that help us on this journey. The topics are on a huge variety. We've seen it just now with Amira as well. You have a nice little cloud of words, of topics that you could look at. There are so many angles. That's also the beauty of and the richness of cities. The variety, what you could look at, is so bold and broad. You never get tired and you never get bored at all. There are topics like economy, there are topics like health, there are topics like work, culture, livability, right? We want to create cities that we really love. Pretty simple as that. And then, the topic of the century, at least for the century, and maybe, or let's really say even far beyond, sustainability. We must make it work in a way that we also can continue on this planet, right? Living on Mars might be an option somewhere, we don't know when, it's maybe not for us anymore, but we also want to have livable cities. And this is what these amazing people have been working on during their 8 months. Everyone from a very specific perspective contributed their tiny bit to this journey of making our cities more livable. Let's find out how they are doing it. So, we need, or what do we use when we move around cities? We move on streets, right? On pathwalks, whatever. So, how cool is that? We have a startup that actually builds roads. Welcome, Maximilian Radwitz from Echopulse, and here he is.
Thanks. Thank you very much. Okay, guys. This is Jonas, Fabi, and I'm Maxi, and I'm very honored to present to you Echopulse. Echopulse addresses a subject that we use every single day going to work, school, and back home. And that causes a terrific environmental impact. What I'm talking about are roads. And we make roads durable, cheaper, and reduce their carbon footprint. Together with the Fraunhofer ICT, we created an asphalt additive that is made of, and that's the cherry on the cake, non-recyclable plastic waste, tackling one of the world's biggest issues that we have. Over the last 11 months, we have already given 10 tons of plastic a new purpose, building roads in Germany, Austria, and Nepal with renowned and smaller construction companies. And by the way, we've achieved all of that even before we received our pre-seed investment on 250,000 Ks last September. And since then, we filled up a sales funnel of over 100 clients for interesting projects next year. So now I warmly invite you to visit or witness the beginning of a CO2 neutral road construction industry. A journey that began back in 2015 when we as students met in order to set up an NGO in Nepal. And over the years, we decided to tackle the plastic issue, starting or kicking off our research collaboration with the Fraunhofer ICT and the University of Kassel. developing and finalizing our technology by the end of 2020, and since then set up a first production line of 10 tons of plastic in a garage in Berlin, and creating a scalable supply chain in order to capture a market opportunity. Because road construction has an enormous sustainable potential. If you look only on the asphalt material alone, we have a market volume of over 60 billion euros each year, from which 1 billion euros are accountable to asphalt additives themselves. And they are responsible for most part of the 24 million tons of CO2 that are emitted each year in Europe alone. I don't have to mention even the global scale. And that actually creates a twist, because on the one hand side, cost explosion and CO2 reduction seem to be contradictory. Over the last 20 years, spendings on highways skyrocketed by over 94%. And why is that? Because all of us are so lazy to order our sneakers or vegan food box over the internet that will be transported over cargo traffic that wears out the roads significantly higher. And on the other hand, we have the agenda of 2030 that puts high pressure on the clients, on the public authorities, and the industry itself. And that is where we come into place. We reduce costs and CO2 for the waste and the road construction industry. We have a technology that enables recyclers to transform non-recyclable plastic, and we are orchestrating these supply chains over our decentralized production into an asphalt additive, and that's how it looks like. Very pretty in my opinion. It enhances the performance, at the same time lowers the CO2 emission, being very efficient as we reuse a material that that usually goes into incineration or gets landfilled, and at the same time we are substituting up to 10% of the bitumen mixed in the asphalt. Additionally, we reduce 20% of the CO2 in the asphalt, and most importantly for our clients, we are doubling the lifespan in certain occasions while reducing the rut depth or even the wear out of roads themselves. Scaling our business means scaling the impact. If you look at the potential, we can save up to 1.1 million tons of CO2 in Europe alone every single year. And that's going to be the team that's doing it. We are combining strengths from research, industry, social environment or social responsibility, and analytics. And this team will raise 2 million euros next year in order to become the market leader for a CO2 neutral road construction, to expand the team with senior hires, to expand into 5 more countries, and of course adding more products and having a runway till summer 2024. Yeah, thank you very much for your attention. Become part of our Echopulse story and invest into our planet. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Maxi, for the pitch. After each pitch, we have a short time frame for Q&A, and I will start kicking off with the questions. So you have 1 more minute to think about your question. My question is, I mean, you started at Change Makers, right? You cared about really contributing to a significant improvement, for example, here on this environmental level. And now you ended up building roads. How does that feel?
Yeah, to be honest, as I studied psychology and business, I always wanted to be a road builder, and yeah, I guess my parents are pretty proud that I do real stuff and that I have a tangible product, or at least our parents are.
Cool, thank you so much. Anyone here in the crowd, or even also on the virtual side, on the screens at home, do you have a question for Echopulse, maybe? We have one, yeah? From the, sorry, please, go first, yeah.
Please.
Where do you get the recycled plastic, the non-recyclable plastic from?
Let me repeat the question just for the audience at home. So the question is, where do you get the non-recyclable plastic from?
So basically from all of you. Yeah, so we have huge recycling companies all over the world. They're sorting our waste. And that's where we actually get the plastic from. And there, in Europe alone, over 20 million tons of non-recyclable plastic that goes into incineration or landfilling. And that's where we jump in and get the material from at the end.
We have another question from a virtual audience.
So you started as change maker, now you are a business owner. Why did you choose that? Why did you choose that path?
So the question is from change making to an entrepreneur. Why?
I believe I speak for all of us. It is very important that you, on the one hand side, have a strong belief in what you do, but on the other side, you have to make it realistic. And that's what we do, and that's why we started to be entrepreneurs.
Thank you. One last question. Yes, please.
How did you manage to get the first contract that you got?
So the question is, just to repeat for the virtual audience, how did you manage to sign the first deal?
Okay, so to be honest, we've never achieved any formal contract yet, but we convinced people or public authorities to build with us. And we convinced them even though our technology doesn't exist in the industry, which was pretty hard, but I believe the jumping point at the end was that we took them on a journey, because road construction is not of public interest, generally speaking, and they really like to become to this, or to get to this point, and that's where we got them.
Thank you. Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you
Thank
so
you very
much,
much.
Maxi.
See you later.
And please, we have our secret door here, you see. And please, everyone, feel free to reach out to the teams. They are available afterwards as well. So talk to whoever calls your attention. So let's move on. Let's look how home improvement meeting business opportunities could look like and how this would help you to just be more happy in your home. So the next one presenting is Felix from Pastry. Welcome.
Hi guys. Thank you. Hi guys, who brought some appetite? Some of you, I hope. Nice, at least someone, you know. All right guys, I'm Felix from Pastry, and we make home renovations just as sweet as going to the candy shop. To put it a bit more dry, we bring buy now, pay later to the German home improvements market. I'm pretty sure that most of you already dealt with home improvements. Either you got a painter, or maybe some of you are more advanced. Maybe you got a pool or something. Let me know. The German home improvements market is actually worth 47 billion euros a year. And we really wanted to put this into perspective. You can see a little cookie to the lower right-hand, left-hand side of yours, which represents the German food delivery market. On the other hand, you can see e-commerce, which is slightly bigger. Nevertheless, home improvements is a huge market and offers the opportunity to build a meaningful business. So, let me ask you, do you know the feeling that you kind of want to impress your friends a little bit when they come to your home? You want to feel cozy, and one thing which is probably quite important is functionality. Things should work. You want water to come out of your shower. Well, let's say you decided to get some solar panels installed on your home. If you've decided that, you come across quite a lot of bureaucracy. All of the solateurs send you their quotes, their invoices, so they either clutter your mailbox or your inbox. And let's say a bank gets involved for some financing, then, let's put it a nice way, their processes are mainly not as elegant as they maybe could be. Bringing us to the next step, you have decided to go with a specific craftsman, and the solar panels are installed, everything looks shiny, you have your nice eco-electricity. Bringing us to one point, you have to pay with a simple bank transfer. That's it. And even if a bank was involved, you have quite low flexibility. So if your life changed, because maybe you got a child or something else changed, well, the bank will probably tell you something like, hey, can you please continue to pay, and the rest we don't really care unless you want another loan. And I do feel sorry for you, probably it's something like, and your convenience is not very high. I do feel sorry for your inconvenience, but have you actually thought how the craftsman feels? So, you call up a few craftsmen. I mean, obviously, you want to compare. You want to get some quotes. You want the best one, right? But all of these craftsmen show up. They measure everything. And in the end, you decide for one. Only one can get the contract. So wouldn't it be nice for you and the craftsman that the entire process would be a bit faster? Well, you have decided to go with one specific craftsman. But now what actually happens is the craftsman has to go ahead and pay for the materials he's going to install. So he pays you, kind of weird. And then in the end, once he sends you the invoice, he sent you the invoice and I don't know, it was sunny outside. You just let it sit. Maybe you even forgot. You don't meant it. And it's not like you're not willing to pay, but some payments are just not happening. And some are just very, very late. Bringing us back to the phase we've already seen before, but obviously from an entire different perspective, liquidity, from the craftsman perspective. And with the firm, especially in small businesses, it's mainly not just the business, but also their personal lives involved. So we imagine it would be nice to change things up. And with that we do. Pastry offers the craftsman a software with which the craftsman can offer the customers flexible payment options, all while we guarantee payments. As simple as that. And you can probably imagine some of our product slides would be quite nice looking and tasty, but let's keep it simple and let's stick to a simple process. We want the contractor to 100% focus on the quality and the service regarding the customer. We want him to own the customer. Still, we want him to receive the instant payments and be able to offer his customers full flexibility in payment options. This is where we, Pastry, come in. Obviously, this is only possible with partner banks who are just working with us. So who is behind Pastry? We are Carsten, Elisa, Henning, and me, Felix. A dedicated team with the experience and knowledge to build such a product. And we've proven it before. We've already built Morpheus, your comparison site for 100% real renewable energy. We are live, we're fully functional, and we generate revenues, which gives us a quite good understanding of how to build another product. So, if you got some appetite, and I brought you some, all of you, the team baked for you actually, please come see me, and let's have a chat afterwards. I'd appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Felix. So it's pretty tempting there, right? So now you have definitely someone to talk to later. Yeah, let's move to the Q&A. I start first again. So we've seen, you've mentioned it, you went through something almost like a pivot, right? And that's pretty sure an emotional roller coaster, right? Maybe tell us a little bit more about it and what kind of recommendation would you have for other people on this decision process, should I pivot or not?
Sure. So a pivot is, I think, not the nicest word in general. Sometimes it's in a positive way, sometimes it's in a negative. We rather see it as a very positive way. So what we've done with Morpheus in general was we decided, okay, this is something which can just grow organically. It is something we can really put work in, but sometimes things are just not as scalable at the beginning. Some things take time. And within the incubator, we got great coachings, and many people basically told us, hey, we have another angle, how about this and that? And in the end, all of those opinions together with like a certain business aspect came together, leading us to, hey, there is like this opportunity, which Pastry is now. And we wanted to really tie it together at the beginning, but it was quite hard. And this is why we then decided, okay, let's make it a cut. One thing is functional, operational, and we can do it again. And this is basically what we decided on. And emotionally, obviously it's challenges, but basically everything we do here is challenging. Every day, every week is something where you're like, okay, what's going to happen next? But you want to move fast. And if you do it at the end of the week, you have a really good feeling that things will kind of fall into place.
Or, so what would be your recommendation for other people in this kind of situation and having to take that decision?
Don't take it lightly in general. So only because someone tells you, hey, I have another idea or something, this shouldn't be like your flag in the wind and you're just switching direction. I think everyone who has maybe been in this position or knows some about the background knows sometimes you got to stick to things and you really got to push through. But also there's things when maybe better things come along, be a little bit flexible and don't kind of stand in your own way. So this is what I would recommend.
Thank you, Felix. Any question from the audience? Yes, we have one.
Yeah, sure. So basically, as we are working...
So the question, just to quickly repeat it, for the virtual listeners, tell more about your business model.
Sure. So in depth, we can obviously have a talk afterwards, but basically you can imagine we work with the banks, and just as financing works, you probably know there's like interest and repayments, and we get a cut of that. As simple as that, yeah.
Thank you. We have another question.
For a buy now, pay later, of course, one component is risk assessment. Sure. How do you plan to go about this?
So the question is about risk assessment. How do you plan to go about it?
Of course, good question. I appreciate it. Thanks. At the beginning, obviously, with our limited resources, we cannot directly build a full risk model at the beginning. So we'll use service providers. And then in the long run, obviously, we need to kind of collect the data and make the right assessment at the right time, which is something we will obviously focus on in the midterm. Once we see, okay, we can gain more traction and we really know, okay, this is what we can shift all of our focus on, which is just like a little bit later in time.
Okay, thank you very much, Felix.
Sure.
Moving to the next topic. I mean, all of us have to work. If we live in cities, if we are not the lucky ones, like living from whatever financial resources, we normally go to work. So let's see how our work can be improved in everyday life. So let's welcome to Spoke with Karl.
Hi, I'm Karl. I brought a second one here.
I'm Max. Nice to meet you. Yeah, great to see some people here tonight for a change. We're two of the co-founders at Spoke, the tool to make information sharing effortless. And we're super excited to tell you a little bit about what we've been working on since we started in springtime this year and where we want to take Spoke next. So work is broken. Since 1.5 years ago, all of us and our teams got dispersed into the home office. I think we naturally reacted by communicating much more, spending countless hours on Slack and Teams, Zoom calls. I think we all know the feeling. So despite communicating a lot more, we actually saw that there's more duplicate work happening and we have much less visibility into what's happening around us, what our team is working on, what the company is working on. So much so that now people are actually spending more than half of their time not working, but rather doing work coordination. So this is all of these fun things like following up, searching for information, scheduling meetings, and switching between all the different apps and communication channels that we're using day in, day out. So we wanted to go out and actually understand how companies are dealing with the topic of information sharing today. We went out and spoke to more than 100 companies of all shapes, sizes, and industries, ranging from 10 to tens of thousands of employees. And what we found is that all of them were struggling with information sharing, and the problem got significantly worse for companies that were larger, so significantly worse at scale. To give you a little bit of an overview of how the workflow currently looks, I think this is what we found to be like a typical workflow for a product manager or team lead of a cross-functional team in a typical company that we spoke to. And I think the pattern that we see over and over again is that we collect, summarize, and distribute information across a variety of different channels and tools. Problem being that this happens all manually, and the tools that we use don't usually talk to each other. So this obviously leads to a lot of very inefficient manual work, a lot of frustration, a lot of information lost, and this is the problem that we hope to fix with Spoke, and I'm handing over to Karl to talk about our solution.
Thanks. Yeah, so as Max has outlined, this is a pretty big problem that we're tackling that most of us experience on a daily basis. So to solve this problem, we believe in creating perfect information alignment within teams and companies in order to revolutionize information transparency and really get rid of duplicate work. In August, we kicked off our journey by releasing a very first version of our MVP to start collecting direct user feedback. And even this first version already Spoke was working where you work, so fully integrated into existing tools and workflows to avoid further tool switching. Here you can see how Spoke works currently within Slack. Spoke allows you to set up sustainable routines for information sharing, lets you share your progress updates and blockers with your team, lets you tag team members and also add links to your projects. This then allows us to repackage this information, share it with your team in a digestible format, and really give everyone the information that they need. We are currently, on a weekly basis, developing and also releasing new features, focused on, right now, building out new integrations to other communication channels, such as email and Microsoft Teams, but also other systems of record, such as Jira, Google Calendar, or Notion. Spoke then lets you seamlessly enrich your updates via those third-party integrations, and using natural language processing, we are able to tag and aggregate your submissions so that we can really understand what people are working on and bring the right people together, proactively avoiding duplicate work. By creating this system of intelligence of taking active data input and combining it with passive data input from tools, Spoke then creates dynamic summaries across multiple dimensions, which means that one update you provide can power summaries across very different levels, be it a weekly summary just for yourself, a weekly summary of your team's efforts, or a monthly summary on a department or project level. So who are we? Together with our third co-founder, Jack, who is working on the product side, we have experience across bootstrapping a startup, scaling through hypergrowth, and being part of the WeWork roller coaster. We are super excited to already be joined by a great team of experts spanning data science, engineering, and product design, as well as a great group of advisors and angels backing us. So currently, we are live with our first MVP, have first test companies on there, and are focused on collecting data and really seeing how engagement develops. And then by the end of the year, we want to launch our V1, which will include smart AI-generated summaries and the first web app experience with a smart information feed, giving you the information that you need to work. We're also planning to complete our core team by the end of the year, hiring 2 additional engineers.
Yeah, so if you're part of a team that can use some help or improve how they share information internally, please hit us up, check out the website. You can join the waitlist to get early access to our beta, and also check out our open positions. We're hiring actively across engineering and a couple of other roles. Yeah, hit us up or come talk to us afterwards, and we're happy to share some more information.
Thanks.
So, thank you, Karl and Max. Yeah, we've been super impressed with you guys because you definitely won the prize for the fastest pivoting team that we ever had and accompanied. And we were so impressed as well, like the deepness and quality and the full commitment to your user research that you had there. Maybe based on that, yeah, on your professionalism on that level, is there some hint that you would like to pass on to other startups in regard of user research?
Yeah, great question. I think, yeah, thanks for the award of the fastest pivot. Obviously, good thing and also a bad thing. I think for us it was super important to, when we had first issues with our initial approach, realized this was probably not the right moment to go through with it, to just go out and really try and have a super open mind, speak to people, understand what are the real issues and what is maybe the red thread between different companies that's really going wrong right now. And I think then for us the kind of moment where we realized, okay, this is a topic that we should really tackle, is when we saw that a company with only 30 people actually had 3 different teams working on user research themselves, where it was just pretty clear that duplicate work and miscommunication are just a really, really big problem right now.
Thank you. And just to frame it right? I mean, for you personally, pivoting might have a negative annotation because it's like hard to let your darling go. But on the outside perspective, that's really the best thing, and really with a professional attitude that you had there, and really focusing on what the market really wants there. That's the best thing that you could have done. Yeah, so congrats again on this positively framed prize. Yeah,
thanks.
And then you did a call to action, like asking for clients, to join you or potential interested companies. What's the best size actually for your solution at the moment? What's the best size in regard of how many people working in such company?
So we are really targeting teams within any size of a company. We are usually now working with a lot of product teams that have 5 to 15 people. But we are definitely excited to onboard smaller companies where everyone is using Spoke, or also smaller teams in larger companies, where definitely I think we're going to have super nice economies of scale and great network effects when we have multiple teams within a larger company using Spoke.
Okay, cool. Let's open to the audience again. Is there any question? Oh yeah, I see a question in the back. Please.
Yes, please. I just want to connect to your question. I will just reformulate it into a hint because I had your question. So I would really like for someone who listens for the first time to your pitch, try and be more specific. Who's working with your solution and what's the specific problem that this person has? The video is very clear, but then it would be really nice to know, okay, with this kind of team, just draw it. That would have been my question, right? Because I didn't get it.
Let me just summarize that one quickly for the virtual audience. So the hint actually is there to, or the question is getting, to whom does it fit best your solution at the moment, or to really highlight that very specifically, because then people can connect much easier even to your solution. Okay, second part.
Yeah, exactly. So you have a personalized feed that gives you the information that is relevant to you. And what we couldn't go too deep into here now is that we are using natural language processing to create summaries out of these individual updates that are being shared. So that if you submit your updates throughout a week, we can create a summary out of that on a very basic level, but then we can also extrapolate from there on a team level, on a department level, on a project level.
So the conversation is getting started. That's super cool. That's what you are here for. Any other question from the virtual space? Exactly the same as well. So that's interesting. A lot of interest catching on you. So jump on that opportunities. Maybe the people virtually can also reach out for everyone's information. We always share the links to your website. So don't be shy. Always connect to our amazing startups here. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
The tempting cookies are really smelling good here. It's hard job. There are real good-looking cookies in that basket, yes. Let's move on. Darius, pass on and get your chocolate cookie. Let's stay a moment more in the future of work, right? So what could be done easier? That's kind of a relation. And I welcome to stage Christian from Keep. Where is he? Oh, through the secret door he's coming from. So Christian will also tell us more how our work life will become easier.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Victoria. Okay, hi everyone. I'm delighted to be here. My name is Chris, and I'm one of the co-founders of Keep. And today I'm going to talk about a very boring subject, pre-accounting. The ones who don't know, pre-accounting is pretty much everything you have to do before you send your invoices or receipts to your accountant or accounting software. It's a super tedious and boring job, and it doesn't really offer any value besides the work itself. We've had that problem ourselves, and instead of accepting the current workflow, we decided to fix it. So the first indicator was the market. Although the global e-invoicing market is growing, there are two important factors that got our attention. Where does this growth come from? The first growth indicator is the mere number of invoices exchanged every year, which is 550 billion. We were amazed to learn that 90% of those invoices still require human-in-the-loop manual processing. And the reason for that is low digitalization. So e-invoicing is end-to-end digital invoice sharing, and only 32% of SMEs in Europe have that. The European Union knows this, and therefore is making e-invoicing mandatory by 2025. And the reason for that is because European companies lose 40 billion every year, and this number accumulates from missing deadlines, security issues, repetitive and dull work, limited insights, human error, there's no central repository, and of course, manual processing is slow. How slow? It turns out that to process 100 invoices, it takes 9.5 hours. That's a whole workday. What we want to do is take those hours back and give it to teams and companies so they can use them for higher value tasks. These lost hours, sorry, something wrong with this. So this is a modern problem, and modern problems require modern solutions. And what we want to do is make invoicing not only smart, but better for humans with open banking and machine learning. And today, I want to announce our MVP, and here it is, a new way to manage invoices. So whenever you receive an invoice, our service analyzes it, gives you a notification, and all you have to do is review it, and it will automatically be categorized under the right contact with searchability and forwarding functionality. And on top of that, because we can connect transactions, we can offer you real-time cash flow estimations. It is available from today, and I encourage everybody to sign up, because as it turns out, if we compare the mere number of processing and the cost, we can do this 160 times more efficiently and save 30 plus hours per 360 invoices, which is the average number of invoices a small company receives within a year. So these saved hours are very important for startups, freelancers, and SMEs. So that's why our basic product will be €1. There are 40,000 new businesses registered in Berlin every year, and these companies are small today, but they one day could be big. So if we help them grow, we are sure that if we also improve our workflow, if we improve our product, they will one day fuel our upsell business model. And we're certain that we can do this because of our unique positioning. If we look at the market, the current systems out there are either closed systems like Pleo or Spendesk, where you have to change your whole financial infrastructure, or document management software that doesn't really tackle the same niche that we're in. We're also aware of accounting software, but as it tends to be, accounting softwares are robust with excessive features and outdated user experience. We're actually not trying to compete with accounting software. What we want to do is help to improve the user experience of accounting. So our unique selling proposition is open, interoperable, invoice-specific document management system that eliminates manual work altogether. And to do that, we have an excellent all-around team already. We have experience in B2B product development. We've built communities, and we've been recognized by our peers as innovative and forward-looking. we've known each other for over 10 years, and as a founder, I couldn't be happier to have co-founders like that. But we're looking for investors to join us to build the next unicorn. We're currently in seed stage MVP with first test customers, and we're looking to raise 500,000 for the next 18 months to build and grow our team, to test customer acquisition channels, and to develop both mobile and web applications. If this sounds something that is interesting to you, please feel free to reach out. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chris. You are also one of our pivoters. And you started with an idea that I personally was a big fan of, right? You wanted to offer a solution for this personal data maintenance, let's say, for SMEs, right? So that they actually can act on it properly as it is required by law. Sounds fantastic, right? Because that's something that SMEs don't have any time for. From the idea, everybody loves a product. When you started your reach out for potential MVP clients, everybody said, oh, don't bother me with that one, because if you open that door, I have so much more things to do, and that's not on my daily agenda. Get away from me. And then you moved also super quickly to a solution that people just love, right? So, but let me ask, will we see again this private data compliance solution somewhere in your bigger vision, future popping back again?
Yeah, well, personal privacy should be on everybody's agenda, and compliance and regulation and things like that. I'm pretty sure that, like, for example, for us, these values and principles that we had when we worked with personal data are still here. Like before we were in regulation tech, now we're in fintech, and regulation tech actually grew out of fintech, so we're in the one of the most regulated industries in the world. So in a way, we're still kind of doing the same thing. We're fighting for the same cause, but from a different angle.
True point, true point. Any other question from the audience? From a virtual audience, maybe.
So how is your experience building a company in Germany as someone who
So just to repeat the question for the virtual listeners, as you are not German, how was your experience on setting up the business here in Germany? Or non-German speaking person, yes.
Okay, so there's several things here. Berlin is obviously one of the best places to do startups in Europe, and it's a wonderful city. I love it here. But Germany is notoriously bad at digitalization. And for example, if I compare, like I'm Estonian, if I compare that to Estonia, where, for example, we can start a company in 3 minutes and you have all the rights that you could use, it's just you can't really compare what's happening here. And yeah, I mean, if you want to do digital products, then maybe Berlin is not the best starting place for you. But in any way, it's a great experience.
It's good to have our friends from Berlin partner here, so they take note and then pass this info on, right? And then it will change. It will change. Okay, any last question from the audience? Then, for now, we move on to the next team. Thank you so much, Chris.
Thank you.
So let's see. People, right? We are moving from working people to people or citizens that want to stay healthy. And I'm not talking about Corona. I'm talking about solutions that tackle a different topic. But let's find out from the team itself. Let's welcome Matthias and Christian from Digital Rheuma Lab. The stage is yours.
So hello everybody, thanks for coming here. I'm Matthias.
And I'm Chris. Hi.
And we'd like to introduce you our project, Digital Rheuma Lab, as well as the topic of inflammatory rheumatic diseases, which is a collective term for more than 50 different chronic conditions, mainly associated with chronic pain, inflammation, and reduced mobility for those affected. In Germany alone, up to 2 million patients suffering from one of those diseases are chronically underserved due to a dramatic and yet increasing shortage of rheumatologists. So what would that mean in practice? Well, being an affected patient myself, speaking from experience, people often wait for doctor's appointments for many months. And if you're lucky enough to get a diagnosis with some fancy name you probably never heard of about, you will get a prescription for some pills, and in the end get your next appointment a couple of months later, without any further information on what the disease would be or what any measures of therapy support could look like. So as you can imagine, people start wondering what the disease could eventually harm them, how severe it could be, and primarily how they could have any positive impact themselves on the ongoing of the disease. So if you want to learn more about your condition, currently you're kind of forced to either flip through analog limited paper brochures, find yourself some information in, from time to time, let's say, shady online forums, or simply look your symptoms up at Dr. Google, because there's a very high chance that your physician is not going to have enough time to really take care of your concerns or answer all your questions. So since the status quo isn't too convenient at all, people start to struggle. They will start self-medicate, they will start mixing up all that bunch of diseases they can kind of choose from rheumatology. And furthermore, they will start self-damaging behavior, such as, let's say, quitting sports, or even quitting movement at all, because intentionally doing something good, they are harming themselves, not knowing it any better. And how could they? So to sum it up, people are lost in a highly complex field of diseases, losing autonomy and the control over their health. Knowing that problem firsthand, at Digital Rheuma Lab, we thought, what if there was a digital platform that puts the patient strictly first in the center of everything? A digital platform that covers all relevant aspects of therapy support in order to empower patients to live healthier and happier lives. So, well, you guess, we liked that idea, and so that's what we've been working on for the last 8 months from scratch in Future City Incubator. Pass it on to Chris.
Thanks, Matthias. So let's now jump from what we are or what we have been working on a broader scale to what we have already been able to achieve over the past few months since the incubator started. So besides conducting in-depth scientific research that helped us to further successfully validate the market need, we have been able to establish an expert advisory board that consists of some of the opinion leaders in digital rheumatology. Also, and we are super proud of that, we've been able to establish one of the largest and fastest growing social media communities surrounding the topic of digital rheumatology here in Germany. And based on our learnings that we got from that, we have developed our first prototype that is currently in user research and being tested in a closed beta environment. Just as a heads up, if you're interested in the topic, happy to have a chat later and happy to show you what's going on product-wise. And also, just to mention, we're in advanced talks about conducting pilot projects with 2 of the most renowned university clinics here in Germany, one of the largest health insurers, as well as the largest patient association that there is in Germany for rheumatism patients. Oh. There we go. But who are we? Well, you know Matthias and myself by now, but let's introduce some other faces. We are the co-founders of Digital Rheuma Lab, and we bring our experience of already successful startups and everything that has to do with that to the table. And we are accompanied by an amazing team that bring in their experience in psychology, medical expertise, as well as technical and software development to the table. But what's next for us? Well, next for us is that we are looking at market entry in 2022. To do so, we are looking to close follow-up funding within the next few weeks, and based on that, build on our team, especially in the areas of expertise of tech, medical expertise, as well as research and regulatory, because those are super critical for what we are trying to build. And with that in mind, we will then validate our go-to-market strategy, because there's a few on the table, determine our best way to enter the market, and then launch our solution in 2022. So if there's anyone here in the room who has already done something in healthcare, brought a healthcare solution to the market because it's a very special one, feel free to hit us up. Let's have some discussions, and we are looking forward to anything that there is to come. Join us on our journey in empowering rheumatism patients, and join us in shaping the future of digital rheumatology. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, Chris and Matthias. So also you guys, if you move a little bit more again in the picture, that's cool, that's helpful for the people seeing you. So I've been also so much impressed. I didn't know how complex that topic, that so much heard name of Rheuma, what it actually means and what's all behind it and how complex and how underserved that is. So thanks for educating me. And then also secondly, I really admire your 100% commitment to this full patient centricity, right? Because we don't see out there in our daily lives when we go to our doctors. Yeah, we are just a number running through a few seconds and then bye-bye next, right? Especially now with the system being overcrowded every day more. So let's hear a bit from the experience, because you've had it there. You had more than 1,000 interviews or touch points with potential users, or with your user research group that you have set up. So actually you present yourself a little bit smaller than you actually are, that as a feedback as well. But what's the feedback, what the people are giving you actually?
It's actually, we need what you guys do, more or less. So it's about, we never had the problem that anyone was wondering, is the problem real? Because anyone who's in touch with that area will certainly know and certainly know the need. And therefore patients are kind of starving, if you want, so for any kind of digital solution, not just ours, but solutions in general, which make this current status quo, which really is fucked up, to be honest, any kind of better. And so the response so far is pretty good, from my perspective, what I'll say.
From my perspective as well, luckily. But maybe to add on that, what we've maybe been surprised by is that it's not just like the typical millennial who's on Instagram, and because there's a lot more young people affected by rheumatism than you might think. Of course, they have their communities. We've been able to build such a community, but it's not just those people who are jumping on that, but especially when we are showing that to people who might not be the stereotype of digital native or digital affinity. Also, those say, be it they be freshly diagnosed or they have such a disease for a longer time. They really love what we are doing there, especially how we are doing it, because it's fully focused on the patient. And I think we've hit a nerve.
Very good, very good. Let's open the stage for questions here from the audience. Is there something popping up from the virtual audience? Oh, sorry, Amira, yeah?
How are doctors responding to that idea?
So the question is how doctors are actually responding to the idea.
Well, positively, because we have been able to like get some of the most important ones on
Look at that. Let's have a camera on that fun.
But in general, doctors are more open than the general consensus in the health market might suggest, as long as it's on a level that is not adding more work to the work that they anyways need to do. Because especially in rheumatology, Matthias explained that there's a significant shortage, because we would need double the rheumatologists already for current patient numbers, and patient numbers are like rising at the same time. So they are very open to solutions, and also open for ours. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Okay, Matthias, Christian, congratulations on your pitch, and let's move on to the next team. So, I'm getting hungry looking at these cookies here. That's a good match to the next topic, food. Food meeting sustainability. What idea could that be? Let's welcome Daniela from Foodie to find out.
Hi, I'm Daniela from Foodie, and we are a hyperlocal online marketplace that enables sustainable grocery shopping directly from farms to your doorstep. Net zero targets will not be met with current practices in our food system, and innovation has to step up with alternatives. The raising sustainability awareness and framed by the regulations of the European Green Deal will foster that innovation during the next decade. A new generation of farmers who see climate change and the loss of biodiversity firsthand dedicated themselves to climate-positive farming and producing methods. They are building their brand and they are looking for alternative distribution channels besides the supermarket retail system. Corona crisis accelerated consumers' demand for organic, healthy, and locally sourced food. They want transparency about the origin of their food and they are willing to pay for it. Demand exceeds supply, published the Organic Farming Industry Report in 2020. With all these facts in mind, we see a great opportunity here to disrupt the current food system with a marketplace that delivers fresh food from farm to table. So, how does all this work? Farmers and producers will enter their availabilities into the platform, and then customers browse for food and place their order. Farmers harvest or bake or bottle the food and bring it to our hubs in Berlin. Then the food is assembled and delivered to the doorsteps of our customers by cargo bike riders. With our smart farm-to-fork supply chain and our D2C model, we are able to offer fresh food with zero waste. So, did you know that it can take a lettuce up to 4 days from a farm only 50 kilometers away to the shelf of your favorite organic supermarket? By cutting off wholesale and retailers and operating without warehousing, we are able to offer fresh food with zero waste. Whoops. Okay, can anyone help me here?
Just click back.
Sorry.
There you are.
Okay. So, from assumption to evidence. In our MVP, we set up a shop, onboarded 18 vendors, and sold 1,600 produce and delivered them with our Foodie cargo bike. We got great feedback from our customer base. They even exchanged dinner experience and recipes. So, with the insights of our MVP, we are now building our Foodie app. A user-friendly interface allows customers to browse for food and purchase their groceries based on delivery date. They can shop by product or by producer. Smart tools for smart food choices like personalized food recommendations and full transparency from farm to fork are the tech aspects of Foodie. And yeah, engaging content from farmers, producers, from chefs, and the customers themselves thrive our community and improve diets and also cooking skills. So eventually you heard this idea before and you're wondering what differs us from our competitors. We stick to our radically local supply chain because we know that a smaller selection of produce fits our customers' needs in the target group. And we are digital, or we think digital, and therefore we are able to create a really pleasant user experience. And last, we are a motivated team, since all members are trying to eat locally for years with way too much effort. So the Foodie team is hungry for growth. We will open our first hub and launch the Foodie app in early 2020. To scale our business, we are currently expanding our network. We are looking for strategic partners with a special focus on the logistics industry. So, if you are from the industry yourself, or if you know someone, please grab me for a drink after these presentations. I'm very happy to discuss how you can get involved. Thanks.
Thank you, Daniela. So let's jump straight away in the questions. Your MVP, when you did your first try on testing your idea, what was maybe the most surprising thing what happened there?
Yes, actually the most surprising thing was that our MVP was profitable from the very beginning. That the connection to the farmers was really great. We had really low error quote. Yeah, and what was also interesting that the value of our shopping carts increased every week.
That's very cool. Congrats. So let's open questions here from the stage. Yes, please, from the audience.
Hi. I think sustainability is a really growing factor for a lot of people buying their goods, but price and speed are also big factors. So maybe you can share how you compare to other competitors in those areas as well.
Okay, let me just repeat the question for the virtual audience. So beyond sustainability, speed and price are super important. So how you compare to your competitors?
Yes, so you're referring here to the quick commerce, I guess. But when it comes to sustainability, it's a bit slower. So we say it's slow food. And we can deliver in 24 hours. So most of our farmers need the orders by 8 in the morning, and there are, for example, in Berlin, since it's 2 cities, they're in Berlin 4 hours later, so the food needs at least 24 hours from farm to fork, which is really good results when it comes to sustainable eating.
And the second part of the question, price takeaways?
Yeah, price. So this is interesting because our food in Germany is way too cheap to save our environment. So the prices are a little bit higher, sure, but when you really want to count in the effects of carbon dioxide emissions and of the environmental damage, then the price is really okay.
Thank you. We have another question.
Yeah.
It's not my zip code.
Yeah, it's not your zip code. So our MVP was for Kreuzberg, Neukölln, Friedrichshain and Treptow. Yeah.
But of course you plan to extend, right?
Sure. We want to have 2 hubs in Berlin by 22. One in the southern part of Berlin and one in the center of Berlin and north.
I saw one more with an hand. The
Quick commerce, I think one of the main topics, like grow it quite big in the end game to make it profitable from an economic standpoint.
So to summarize the question, profitability is the topic and basket size numbers are requested.
Yeah, so we are working with a basket size of €25, which is pretty low for sustainable shopping, and we are able to increase that shopping cart value.
Okay. Maybe one last question from a virtual audience?
It was already answered, actually.
Okay, cool. But he was, no. Okay. Thank you so much, Daniela.
Yeah,
so
thank
it
you.
looks like you might have some new clients here. So don't miss out grabbing Daniela later.
Thanks.
Thank you. You might have already seen it. It's not just when it comes to food, but we in the cities create a lot of waste. Let's see what new solutions might be out there to take care of that problem. Let's welcome Martin and Ruth from Waste Reduction. The stage is yours.
Thank you. Yeah, so you had your sneak preview already. We are Waste Reduction and we care about environmental impact. And by now, everyone knows that global temperatures are rising, right? And we all know that that is a problem. But as it is hard and inconvenient to save greenhouse gas emissions, the carbon offsetting market is growing rapidly. However, we also have to deal with another issue, and that is as threatening as climate change. It's plastic pollution. And as this figure shows, we have to do something about it. So maybe you can already see where this is headed. Waste reduction is offering plastic offsetting to fight plastic pollution. So you see, consumers have started to hate plastic. And that forces many companies to substitute plastic with other materials. But why do we need offsetting instead of just avoiding or substituting plastic, right? For 3 reasons. First, and actually most people don't know it, substitutes like paper, glass, and metal lead to higher CO2 emissions. Second, other materials are just not there yet. For example, bioplastics. They are non-recyclable, they lead to higher acidification of soils, and also they require more agriculture and thereby threaten our rainforests. And third, when looking at these pictures, we have to realize that we're not actually pulling the right levers in motion. That means neither avoiding plastic nor substituting it in Europe and Germany is enough to have a relevant impact on the global plastic crisis that we're seeing right now. All of these countries that you can see in blue, they openly burn plastic waste or let it leak into the oceans. And our real problem, therefore, is not plastic consumption, it is plastic waste which is poorly managed. But if this is our current situation, then what can consumers and companies do? Well, just like CO2 offsetting is a solution for companies to fight global warming, plastic offsetting by waste reduction is a solution for companies to fight plastic pollution, despite the use of plastics and only if there's no sustainable alternative.
We're proud to present some of our plastic neutral products from our first customers. Those customers are paying a fee for the amount of plastic packaging for each product. For every kilogram, and this is financing our environmental measures and in covering our own costs. For every kilogram which is compensated with us, we avoid another kilogram of plastic waste entering the nature, and for example here stopping plastic waste on the way to the ocean. Thereby we neutralize the plastic footprint for products, for companies, and for their consumers. Together with our environmental partners, like our projects and organizations, we fight plastic waste where it is leaking into the environment and really threatening our livelihoods. This is one of our cleanup partners on the Philippines, and this is one of our recycling partners in Indonesia. However, for us, this is not enough. We need a long-term change in people's minds. Even in Europe, where there are bins everywhere, littering is a huge problem. We believe that this is best addressed by education. With children in the DACH region, we raise awareness on how to deal with waste correctly. This means that we're not only neutralizing the plastic footprint of products, but we are contributing to a future change through education, and additionally, we are investing in innovation. Interestingly, our customers have experienced that their products with our plastic neutral label were bought twice as often as without. The team behind waste reduction is combining the expertise of plastic processing and the experience of international cooperation and education. We are delighted to have our first customers on board, with a Rewe-affiliated supermarket chain supporting us. Our labeled products will be in the supermarket shelves in Austria from December onwards. We would like to thank the Incubator and everyone involved for their support. You can help us by introducing us to companies, people responsible for sustainability or CSR, or supermarkets, if you believe that they would benefit from higher profits. These are contact details to support us not for plastic-free shelves, but for a plastic-free nature. Thank you.
Thank you. With Martin, yeah, let's jump into the question. Your solution is much needed. It contributes to a portfolio of a variety of solutions to fight against the plastic waste in our worlds, right? You claimed your call to action that you're looking for more clients. So how does the perfect match, what kind of company, how do they look like?
Especially companies in the sustainable world, like for alternative food, for or with a image which they are sustainable, suffer the most because people just not accepting plastic anymore, as it is seen as the reason for the plastic pollution, which is not true, as we explained. And those companies are substituting it with paper-looking substitutes, but most of the time they need, because of the regulations, a plastic barrier inside. And those packagings are not recyclable at all. So they move often from a sustainable version, totally plastic, to a more sustainable looking one, which is not the case. So those companies suffer the most.
So the ones who really care about the environment and still didn't find their best match there.
Absolutely.
You would be the one. Perfect. Questions? Yes.
So the root cause of the littering sort of is what have you determined and what's the solution you're bringing then?
So the question is again bringing more details on the problem and then the solution side as well.
So we consume a lot of plastic in the middle of Europe. However, our plastic is not reaching the ocean. So you see the difference in a high or in a wealthy country to others which not have waste management in place. So we support the development of waste management in countries where they struggle with. And our project partners, as shown, do that and execute it with us together. So we finance partners, mostly in the global south, setting up waste management.
Okay. We have more questions? Yeah?
Actually, that was where my first question was going to. Maybe you could sum up with the road builders.
Yes, they are definitely. They've been sticking together 8 months now, so they definitely have some things in place there. That's super cool. But yeah, you want to?
Yeah, we could definitely sum up, and we're already talking about that and have been talking about that for ages. So. Still are.
Yes, maybe from a virtual audience, is there something?
So how do you know if the offsetting is actually working?
So the question is, how do you know that the offsetting is working?
What do you mean by working? Like that it is happening? Is that what you mean?
I mean, the question came from a virtual audience. I guess it's hard.
Oh, sorry. Okay, well, then that's probably what is meant. Yeah, so obviously we've got project criteria in place, and these project criteria ensure that there are different layers of outside control. So for example, waste has to be given to local authorities, and then there's a sheet signed that is going to ensure that all of the offsets really take place. And then, yeah, there are several mechanisms that we put in place to make sure that this is happening.
So transparency as the key.
Yeah, so actually our goal is to have videos in place quite soon, so that everyone who buys a product with our label can actually see what happened to execute the offset and can look at it in a short clip. But we're not there yet, so wait for it.
So stay tuned. Thank you so much, Ruth and Martin. Last but not least, I promise we look at people, right? Or we are people. So let's look at a startup that is working on connecting people. Daniela, the stage is yours, please.
Thank you. Hello, my name is Daniela Ma and I'm very happy to be here. Let's talk about our future. We are all aware of social challenges such as demographic change, climate change, or social inequalities. What's this? But how do we bring those around the table who are needed to develop solutions? We talked to thousands of them and recorded their needs. These change makers often have the same problems. They lack infrastructure, support, and exchange. And this is why we created Reflector Network. Reflector is the largest changemaker community in the DACH region, with members from the field of education, environment, technology, and social innovation. And the platform I'm presenting to you today is, let's call it the curated LinkedIn with a pinch of Tinder for changemakers. Within just 1 year, we arranged 25,000 of mentoring, peer exchange, co-founders and funding on our self-developed matchmaking platform, and so professionalized socially innovative projects. Reflector Network has grown to 5,000 verified members in the last year. The community is extremely active and is currently growing 15% per month. That means that by the end of 2022, we expect 35,000 members on our platform. And this is how it looks. When you, in your profile, you put what you're looking for or what you offer. Then you go to the matching section and find people who are a perfect fit and ask them for collaboration, for example, or save him for later and look at the next one. And there's the pinch of Tinder. Or you'll be just inspired by the many social startups and organizations that are already in the network. And of course, this would not be possible without a great team. I have more than 10 years of experience with the target group and have done what we are doing now online, previously offline. And Simon is a full-stack developer with 10 years of experience in developing web application, and Miriam is a great designer. And we all know each other since more than 8 years. And what have we achieved so far? We have built up the platform without external funding and created an active community of changemakers. And this has also been honored by others. This year, Reflector Network received the Civic Innovation Platform Award for the conception of a matchmaking based on machine learning. And the Ministry of Economy will fund our next project, what is called the Impact Tools. This is an e-learning digital incubator that supports impact projects from the first idea to scaling and connects them with suitable experts. Our business model. Our revenues are generated on the one hand through the sale of closed areas to existing communities such as conferences or incubators, and on the other hand by premium memberships. Members benefit from offers, better networking opportunities, or can offer their services. And yes, and in the next weeks, right now, we will launch the Changemaker Marketplace where service providers can post their offers. And the next year, we will start with the e-learning and the job marketplace, which will complete our universe. Well, our aim is to create a network with more than 150,000 changemakers and lay a foundation for solving the major challenges of the 21st century. And we invite you to be part of it. As the platform and an active community already exist, we mainly need partners for growth, and the expansion of the digital incubator and the internationalization. So no matter if you are a corporate, a foundation, a representative of a ministry, an impact business angel, or just a person with good ideas and good contacts, let's find out how we can boost your impact. And what do you get out of it? Well, the platform and the impact are 100% scalable. Together, we are not only professionalizing thousands of socially innovative projects and helping new ones to form, but also building an infrastructure for the impact scene, social organizations, and responsible leaders. And that, in turn, helps us to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals more efficiently and much faster. My name is Daniela Ma, and I'm looking forward to go on this journey together with strong partners. And come to me and have a chat about the future we want to create. Thank you.
Thank you, Daniela. So, questions, right? And yeah, let's hit straight away on your well-promoted matching tool that you have on your website. What have been the most surprising or the most impactful match that your platform created so far?
Yeah, this is a question a lot of people are asking, and I'm always like, no, I don't want to point only one of them, but we have like, some people I met before and they found like in 1 week a new founder on the platform. And this was really a great experience. Or people changing their jobs because of the platform and so changing their lives. Or getting a funding also. And this is like, this is, I call it always, this is this is like an elixir. This is like the way, why we are going on, because of this exciting stories of all these people. Yeah.
Okay, so you want to keep it a little bit secret, right? You want to be politically correct, not having a favorite one. Yeah. Or is there a chance you share a story?
No.
No. So everyone has their special story on your platform. Okay, questions from the audience, maybe. Yes, please.
Oh, thank you. Yes, it's
translated. It means a sales.
No, if there's a B2B...
So let me just repeat for the virtual audience. The question is like if you will have a B2B niche, but you focus on your market extension. Is there one?
Well, on the one hand, we are of course working B2B with like conferences, incubators, corporates, and so on. So this is a B2B. And well, there are parts of the platform who are B2B. So, and yes, and we were already asked if we sell the platform to others. Not at the moment. So this is a topic for the future. Yeah, but yeah, is this more or less answering? We can chat after more detail. Yeah.
And I saw a question here in the front as well.
How is the matching? How does the matching work?
Yeah,
the matching. Yes, explain more, please.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a bit like a Tinder. Well, it's now technically, you want to know how it's technically done? It's a social graph, and the workers, the technical workers, work every night to check all the metrics. So we have, on the one hand, we have the SDGs, we have the mega trends that you put on your profile. You can have a look there. It's like I'm looking for, and then it's I'm looking for a co-founder in these areas, and these are my topics, and these are things that you enter when you go in, and then we check if it's fitting, no? And we already developed the matchmaking based on machine learning. So, and this will be much more specific, much more sustainable, much more fast also, because in this social graph, when the workers are working every night and when we are like on 150,000 members, it will get expensive. So we have to do it with the machine learning in the future, of course. Yeah.
Okay, chance for a last question. From a virtual audience, maybe. One last question.
There is one.
Yes.
So what is your strategy to grow your community and attract new change makers?
Yes.
So a question about how you will grow, right?
Yes. Well, on the one hand, we are fortunately growing organically quite fast right now, but on the other hand, we are of course talking with a lot of partners, especially when we are talking about the internationalization. We won't do it for ourselves. We have partners in different countries. We will work together, and so this is a way to do it much faster. And also, if you have ideas and if you say, okay, I am a community, I'm an existing community, because this is also a way to grow. No? Talk to us. This is a call to action. Let's grow together. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Daniela.
Thank you.
So everybody feel invited to talk. So here we are. We are at the end of the startup presentations. I invite all our startups to the front to have like one more celebration moment, because we have a little present for you guys. So let's be celebrated. Come here, don't be shy. Because it's been an incubation program, right? You've been actually doing quite some work with us, so we have a certificate for you. Now you can call yourself a proper founder. Yeah, here you are. And we start with Echopulse. Come to the front. Congratulations. I have Fabian first, Jonas, Maximilian. It's been really a pleasure to see your journey. Thank you so much to be with us with the last 8 months. So next one. So, yes, Pastry and Morpheus, Elisa, Felix. Congratulations. Yes. Thank you so much, for being these 8 months with us and having us part in your roller coaster. Thank you. Spoke, Carl. Carl, here you are. Congratulations, Carl, on your achievement.
Thanks. Thank you so much.
And keep, Chris. Where are you? There you are. Congratulations on accomplishing. Really, these guys have been doing such an amazing job, right? We've been through lockdown together and then meeting finally in person. These kind of things tied all of us together as well, right, on your journey. Next one, Matthias and Christian, Digital Rheuma Lab. Congratulations. Next one is Daniela, Foodie. Ruth and Martin. Congratulations. Congratulations. And Daniela. Congratulations. So for the audience, we really very much invite you to join us for a little bit of real people networking. That's so exciting to have this happening again. Outside, we will have a few drinks. We will take a few minutes to do some final pictures with our teams. If you like, you can join and stay with us on that one. But otherwise, we wait for you also outside in a bit, and we look forward to a lot of fruitful conversations with you guys. What is that?
And maybe let me or us just quickly grab the word to say thank you to, of course, everyone who's here, but especially thank you to everyone from BIA. Present is still in the working, in the making. We have been busy with pitches, so there's something to come. But especially because attention has not been raised yet, also to Thomas, because he's been accompanying us, especially in the first few months. You know all the other names by now. It's been amazing to work with you guys. So thanks a lot for that. Yes.
So, again, doors are open there for drinks behind there. Oh, sorry.
Before, just for the audience here, before you go outside, there was a phone in one of the toilets, in the women toilet. So if someone... oh, okay. Perfect. Then never mind. Enjoy the drinks. And thank you for coming.
Okay, so how do we do it now? How do we do video?
Ich will auch so gucken.
Leiden nach vorne.
kann bitte Hinweis ganz vorne hin.